Sabbath. I don't know if you are nearly as excited as I am for the holiday season, but I'm really excited for the holiday season. I love Christmas. It's my favorite season of the year. Since I was a kid, every time that Thanksgiving came around, I started seeing the Christmas decorations in the stores. I remember the first thing I would do as soon as my Thanksgiving break started was ask my mom if we could take the Christmas decorations out of the attic so that we could start decorating. And this year, I've actually got the chance to decorate 2 Christmas trees. One for my house, and yesterday with my wife setting up here. And we were super excited, super happy. And we are even more excited because this Christmas tree is a special one. This Christmas tree, we hope that by the end, by December 15th, is that right? By December 15th, we hope that this Christmas tree is completely filled in the bottom with presents for our refugee kids. So we want to invite you to consider bringing a gift for those that maybe they won't have a Christmas, other than being invited to this church on December 15th and spending that Christmas program with us and being able to receive a Christmas gift from our church, from God to them. We are starting today this series called Because of Bethlehem. As you can see, it's a 5-sermon series, which means this series is starting today and is ending on December 22nd, which is the last Saturday before Christmas. And both me and Pastor Justin will be tagging along and talking about because of Bethlehem, we have different gifts. Today, we're going to see the first part of Because of Bethlehem. And I want to start with this that I found on a book and I thought it was beautiful. In the Christmas season, Christmas is all about kids, right? It's all about babies. Like, yeah, I get excited. I'm an adult and I get excited for Christmas. And Melanie gets excited for Christmas. I'm pretty sure all of you get excited for Christmas. But Christmas is really a time for the kids, right? For the kids to enjoy the holidays, receive a present. It's all about the kids. And the reason why it's all about the kids is because the very first Christmas started with a child being born. Christmas is the celebration of a baby being born. And because of that, our holiday turns around to Christmas. We see like babies that can even walk or talk, like parents putting them like Santa Claus hats and like taking Christmas pictures with the babies, and the babies can even like walk on their own, and they're already like taking pictures in front of a Christmas tree, like kind of creepy, like I don't know, with Santa Claus in the mall and a bunch of stuff. It's all about the the kids, because the very first Christmas was all about a child being born, Jesus Christ. And I found this to be really beautiful. It says, a baby. Jesus was born a baby, yet a king. He was minuscule, yet he was mighty. Creator, cradled in a barn in Bethlehem. Infant, yet infinite. Christmas is the most important time of the year, at least for me, because it's the time when we can remember that God sent His only begotten Son as a baby, as an infant, as something that is vulnerable to this earth. I want to invite you to open your Bibles today. We're going to be reading from the book of John, chapter 1. We're going to read verse 14. And this morning, I am reading from the NLT translation, New Living Translation, which I find to be very easy to understand. And I want you all to follow along. It doesn't matter what version of the Bible you have. But it reads in this way. So the Word became human flesh and made His home among us. He was full of unfailing love and faithfulness, and we have all seen His glory, the glory of the Father's one and only Son. He was born. The Word became what? Human flesh. Other Bibles would say flesh. The Word became flesh. These are the same words that John starts his book with. In the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with God. And the Word was God. So the Word became human flesh. You know, the word here for word in Greek, which is what we translate to have what we have today, in Greek the word for word is logos. So if we read this verse and we change that word, it says, in the beginning was the logo. And here it says, so the logo became human flesh. You know, it is proven that the most successful companies in the world, they have a face. They have somebody that people can relate to. To give you an example, when you think of Apple, who does come to your head? Steve Jobs. Apple, Steve Jobs. When you think of Microsoft, Bill Gates. When you think of McDonald's, Ronald McDonald, that creepy clown, right? Haunts my dreams. Yeah. When you think of Geico, you think of that like weird gecko that can save you, lizard that can save you 50% or more in 15 minutes or less, or something like that, I don't know. Like, the thing is, the most successful companies in the world, they have realized that a logo, a name, a logo is not enough for people to connect with their company. So they have created a persona or a face in their company to represent them. Walt Disney was very smart to make his entire empire around Mickey Mouse. Walt Disney died. It's been years since his death, but Walt Disney is still alive because forever kids remember Mickey Mouse. They realized that the logo was going to be more effective if it had a face. And here what he's saying is that the logos of God decided to come to this earth as something that we can relate, as something that we can see, a face that we can see and relate to. God decided to come to this earth as a single cell inside of his mom's belly, as an embryo, as a baby. God decided to come to this earth as one of us. Not like one of us. There's a difference. He didn't come to the earth like a human. He came to this world as a human. He was 100% man. The Word, the Logos, became human flesh. You know, this elementary teacher decided to do a Christmas activity with her kids, and she asked all the kids in her class to write down what questions would they like to ask Mary if they had the chance to ask anything they wanted to Mary. And these are the questions that the kids came with. They said, were you scared to give birth to God? What was Jesus' first words? Was he beautiful? Every mother says that their child is beautiful. Did he ever get sick? Did Jesus ever misbehave? What was his favorite food? You know, those are all wonderful questions. Those are all really good questions that maybe at some point in our lives we might have asked as well. What was Jesus like? Did he cry a lot? Was he a peaceful baby? But there's a bigger question that we could ask her. That bigger question is, why did God go so far? Why did God go so far to become himself one of us? Hebrews 4:15 says, this high priest, Jesus, this high priest of ours, understands our weaknesses, for he faced all of the same testings we do, yet he did not commit sin. So let us come boldly to the throne of our gracious God. There we will receive his mercy, and we will find grace to help us when we need it most. Why did God go through all that? Why did God decide to come as a baby? For one simple reason. So that we could have the knowledge, so that we could understand that he knows how we feel. He understands us. He knows our weaknesses. Because he lived the temptations that we live. He came to our place. He wore our shoes. He walked our path. So that we could look back and say, my God understands me. Because he's not distant. He's a God that came and became one of me, one of us. So that he could relate better to us. I want to tell you a story. In 1926, his name was George Harley. He went as a missionary to Liberia. George Harley, 1926, he went to Liberia. You can search the story up. It's all over the internet. It's a very famous story about a missionary. He went to Liberia to a group of indigenous people, native people. And he went over there with the dream of opening a medical clinic. And with the medical clinic, do evangelism to the town. He went to this place, he opened his clinic, and in the first 5 years, he was already receiving and being able to serve over 10,000 people per year in that clinic. It was great. He was happy. There was only one problem. He created a clinic, and right next to the clinic, he opened a chapel. He opened a small church. And his hope was that by him serving others, putting his life in service to others, the town, the village would realize that this guy had something special, and they would come to church with him. But in 5 years of him serving that village, not a single person from the village came into the church, came into the chapel. Him and his family, they were devastated. Nobody was coming to church. They were discouraged. They started praying. Nothing happened. Nobody would come to church. One day, his son gets sick. He watches his son running outdoors, and out of nowhere he falls. And when he goes and grabs him, he knows this fever. He knows this sickness, and he knows how hard it is to cure it. He tells his son, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to take care of you. But sadly, even though he did everything he could, the son passed away. Now this man that had devoted his life for the past 5 years to be a missionary in a place that it was unknown to him. He had given everything he had to open this medical clinic, to be witness to others about God. Lost his son. And here he is, in front of his body, crying. One of the villagers comes by, sees him, comes to talk to him, and realizes that the son is dead. And the villager was astonished. The villager was just like with his mouth open, like just looking at this man. The man was crying and crying and crying, and the villager was just there looking at him. The villager hugged the man and then left. But he left and started screaming through the whole village. The white man cries! The white man cries! The family was so affected that they didn't even pay attention to that comment of the white man cries, and they just went into their house, closed the door, and grieved as a family. A couple hours later, they hear a knock on their door. When they open the door, the whole entire village was gathered in front of their house, with tears in their eyes, asking them to share his God with them. You know what changed with the village? When they saw the face of this man crying, they saw something they could relate to. Because in the past 5 years, the only thing they saw was this perfect man that had no problems, that never cried, that he was like inhuman. But now, they saw a vulnerable man. A man that cries like they cry. A man that hurts like they hurt. And because of that, they were able to relate with him. And the entire village opened their hearts to listening to the God of this man. When they saw the face of the man, everything changed. Why did God choose to come to this earth as a baby? He chose to come to this earth as a baby. Because when we see the face of God, everything changes. He realized that he had been talking to us for centuries before that. He was always with us. God always is and will be with us. But he realized that it wasn't the same for us. We needed something that we could relate to. We needed someone that we could relate to. And for that reason, God decided to have a face, become a man, and change our history, our lives forever. You know, when Mary had the baby, I don't know because I haven't had a child yet with Melanie. One day we'll experience it. But when Mary and Joseph had this baby, I imagined them grabbing this baby in their arms and saying, so this is what we look like. We've been waiting 9 months. You've been 9 months in the belly of my wife. Mary would say, you've been 9 months with me. I've been waiting 9 months to see what you look like, and this is what you look like. But I imagine Mary going a step further and saying, so this is what God looks like. Because she had to receive word from the angel that the child that she was to bear was no ordinary child, but it was God himself. So I imagine Mary saying, so this is what God looks like. Since the beginning of history, every civilization has imagined what God looks like. We have to picture God in many different ways. Every culture, every society in the history of the world has always tried to imagine what God looks like. Some believe that he's a volcano. Some believe that he's I don't know, like an animal. He's the wind. He's different things for different people. But in this moment of history, God said, okay, all right. I get it. You want to see what I look like. You want to see what I look like. I get it. So you know what? Because I created you in my image. And you don't get that point that I created you in your image, so you look like me. I will come down to the earth as one of you. I will come to this earth and just leave behind all my throne, my riches, my glory. I'm going to put everything aside, and I'm going to humble myself so that you realize, how do I look like? So that you see that I look like love. In the great controversy, we know that there was some type of conflict in heaven before there was a conflict on earth. There was a fight in heaven between Satan and God. And he says that many angels had doubt. For that reason, they followed Satan. They were doubting what God looked like. They were doubting who God was. They were doubting the character of God. But you want to know something? You want to know why the angels stand and worship in that nativity story, in that barn, in that manger? You know why the angels worship that night? Because that night they realized that there was no doubt. Any doubt that could have been in their hearts, it was wiped away. Because they realized that God had decided to leave everything aside and humble himself for love. So that we humans could see his face. So that we humans could see that there is hope. Because our God has been where we are. Our God has walked our steps. So that we could get closer to God. This Christmas season, I want you to remember as we continue to study this series of Because of Bethlehem. I want you to remember that the whole point of Bethlehem, the whole point of Christmas, is that God has a face because He decided to come as a baby so that we could relate to Him, so that we could grow closer to Him. And as we celebrate, I want you to be intentional into telling others that this season is a wonderful season to spend time with your families. But the real reason for this season is Christ. The real reason for this season is that we have hope. The real reason for this season is that we have salvation. I want to invite the deacons to come forward. Let's all stand. Dear Heavenly Father, we are thankful because today we start celebrating that you have a face and that you decided to come to this earth as a baby so that we might know what you look like, so that we might understand that you're a God of love, a God that gave it all for us. As we approach rapidly this holiday season, which can be hectic, can be stressful, help us be reminded of the real reason for the season. Help us stay close to you, and help us be reminded every day that it's all because you decided to come to this earth. It's all because of Bethlehem. We're thankful for everything you've done for us, everything you will do. And for that reason, we ask that you continue to give us your Holy Spirit so that we can continue to grow closer to you. And we ask these things in the name of Jesus. I want to tell all the parents that we have a flyer in the front with the schedule of all the rehearsals for the Christmas program, December 15th. And if you're not a parent, that's okay. We also have a flyer for you. We have flyers for the December 15th event. We want you to bring your family, invite your friends, and we want to spend this Christmas program together and share the love of Christ with others. Have a blessed day.